Ladies and gentlemen, how are we today? Thank you for clicking on my video. Today, we're building stuff. Well, we're building one thing, not stuff. So when I was a kid, the coolest things that I knew of, when I was a kid, I was a huge freak about cars. I thought cars were just the coolest thing on the planet. And I still like vehicles quite a lot. So I like to tinker. I tend to find that a lot of the things that I like to do are, I don't want to say that most people call it, like, find them douchey, because I don't want to think that people think I'm a douche, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna build some stuff. We're gonna drill some holes, we're gonna do some cutting, we're gonna do some welding, we're gonna have a good time. Have a good time doing it. That's the side I want the tubes to be on. This side to go down. So, drill a pile hole here. Let that cool down a little bit. So, if you've seen my previous videos, you'll be aware of the truck that I drive. I have a 99 Ford F350, 7.3 power stroke. First off, I don't leave things alone. It's kind of one of my things. If there's something I can do, something I can build, whatever, I'm gonna do it because I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Here's what we're doing. So this here is gonna be our base plate. And what this is a chunk of 2x8 rectangle tubing. It is 120 wall, 1/8 inch wall, whatever you want to call it. However, wherever you come from, everybody has a different something for it. This is the base plate to our project. It's just a chunk of scrap steel found at the scrap yard, and I hope the camera picks it up, but it may not. This cut is the furthest thing from square, and I get frustrated because I go to my local steel yard and I don't expect perfection, but these guys ain't even close. I mean, oh, here's a square. So that's how they cut it today. I mean, it's an 1/8 inch out inside of 7 inches. So, I mean, more, 3/16 out inside of 7 inches, and it's 3/16 out. So, this is our other material. This is a 6-inch 120 wall, and the plan is I'm gonna do both of these about like so, as stacks. It's gonna be so freaking sweet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an angle cut on the tops of them. You know, like a stovepipe type of cut. No, I guess not a stovepipe. I'm just gonna do an angle pipe on the top of them, and I'm not gonna weld like a 45 off them or anything like that. It's just gonna be an angle pipe, an angle cut at the top, and that's it. And it's gonna be cab height. Because I do find it kind of ugly when I see the guys driving around with stacks and they're like 6 inches below the cab, and their red truck has a big black spot on the back of the cab. So I don't want that. What we're gonna do, I said earlier this is gonna be my base. And what I mean by that is everything. This is going to attach to the truck. This is what's going to be in the bed. The pipes will be off the other side of it. What I'm going to do on this side, because I plan on doing a 4-inch turbo back eventually, I'm going to do a 4-inch hole in this side of it. Then I have some 5/16 bolts I'm going to put through here, and then I'm going to weld them to the inside of the tube, to the inside of this chunk of square tube, triangle rectangle tube. And then I'm going to cap the ends. Okay, and that will be like the transition from the 4-inch exhaust to the two 6-inch stacks. A lot easier said than done, I think. I think the next step is I need to clean all this up. It's got sharp edges and stuff like that on it. And I should probably be wearing gloves, but I'll wear gloves. Pro tip, whenever your gloves been sitting in your garage for a while, take them, smack the bench. If there's any spiders in them, they'll die. And instead of having a big fat hand, it was having a nice gooey hand. I have safety glasses here somewhere. I hate grinding. Grinding's the worst part. That's what I do first, because if I do it first, the fun stuff comes afterwards. You're never going to be able to see this on the camera, but I have two, I guess you might be able to a little bit. I've drawn two circles. Now, these circles are not 6 inches. They are, however, very close. They are about 5 3/4 inch ID, which should be, with an 1/8 inch wall, if I can get really, really close, should be like right in there, freaking perfect. Now, I don't have a 6 inch hole saw. I don't have a 5 3/4 inch hole saw. I don't have a hole saw at all, actually. So, what I'm gonna do, the plan, is I'm just gonna cut, like, start doing like pie cuts, right? And then just whittling it down until I get it down to a point that I can get inside the circle and really make it all how I need it to be. If my beard all of a sudden gets a little bit longer and my shirt changes and maybe I got a different hat on or something, it's because I had to wait till next weekend to go back to the steel yard and get a new piece of steel. Hate grinders. Dang it. I have a really bad habit of putting the worst possible things in the way of the grinder dust. But, so we got our holes done. So this is the base, right? We're gonna have the tube sitting on this. Now remember, I made these holes slightly smaller than the tubes themselves. Emphasis on ish. Start 2. Yeah. So they're a little over. They're about 5 3/4. About 5 3/4 inch holes or so. Sure, a hole saw would have been much faster, but I didn't want to do that. I had grinders and stuff, and I don't have a hole saw, so this is how I did it. Now the plan is to, whatever this distance here is, looks like about 3/8 or so, is going to be how I set these up. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these down on the flattest surface I can find. I'll check them with a level and do all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to get something that's 3/8 of an inch wide. I actually think I have some 3/8 solid stock here somewhere. And I'm going to make little pins to put between them to hold them exactly 3/8 of an inch apart. And then I'm going to do some gussets between the two tubes. I got some of this material here. This is just about 100 thousandths thick. So if you don't know what 100 thousandths is, it's just slightly smaller than an 1/8 inch thick. And it's 8 inches long. Now, this piece of material is going to do multiple things. That's what's going to cap the end of the rectangle tubing, and it's also going to be my gusset material for this. The way that I want to do the gussets is I kind of want to, I don't want to have them like sitting flat on the outside of them. I may do one flat on the outside of it that's going to be, you know, up against the front of the bed so you won't see it anyway. So I may do one like that. But that'll be the only big gusset that I do. The rest of the gussets, I'm going to kind of try to sink them down in here a bit to where they won't be seen much. And I'm going to try to keep the gussets below the bed rails as best I can, just to kind of keep that hidden. Alright y'all, I've come up with an idea here to evenly space the tubes, and then also like a kind of a setup to help in welding the tubes to the base plate. Now, I'm gonna let you know, I want you to remember, okay, I'm just one dude goofing off in his little one-car garage at home, okay? Keep that in mind if you decide to comment, okay? Here we go. So these are my tubes. These are the stacks themselves, right? What I've done here is I got me these here pencils. These are my spacers. These are about 5/16. Oh, got loose. They're about a 5/16. Now, I know people are gonna say, well, that pencil's, it's wood. It might crush a little bit. They're not in here like super tight. They're just, I mean, they're still wiggly. It doesn't take a whole lot to wiggle them. So I'm really not worried about that. Now, I have about 1.1 inches of room between the hole and the edge of this rectangle tubing. So what I did was I took a piece of, I got a 1 inch chunk of square tubing, 1 by 1 square tubing, and I just took this and I leaned it up against here, just kind of get my fitment, right? Now you can see no overhang right there. You know, the hole's completely covered back here on the top, all the way around, and I have to assume if it's covered on the top, it's covered on the bottom. Now, being that, ooh, that's right there, I might have to take a little chunk of my 100 thousandths material to put in there just to get it to sit just right on there. But, I mean, this is really close. I mean, really close. But the issue I'm seeing is down in here, you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I can see there's kind of a gap between the tube and the center where it gets thin. So I'm gonna have to do something to kind of push that out towards them when I'm welding. Now, I didn't think about this when I bought this tube, and I don't know if I'd have been able to find it, but I kind of wish that I would have done maybe a little taller tube, maybe like a 4x8 or so instead of the 2x8. But I don't think that I can get a 2x8 in a 120 wall. Yes, these are ratchet straps. That's how I've got this held together. But I mean, it's solid. It ain't going anywhere, you know. So I'm pretty happy with it. I think what I'm gonna do, I put this like this with the ratchet straps and the spacers and everything, so that I could put my gussets in. Now at this point, this is going to be the bottom, and I chose this side because I bought these are brand new tubes. This is a 6-inch schedule 10. No, this isn't a schedule pipe. This is a 6x120. And if you don't know what schedule pipe is, it's for water pipe. This is a 6-inch by 120 wall mild steel tubing. You can see here's the seam. It's a hot rolled deal. Nothing special. Just a, you know, general piece of tubing. But I had to buy this new. I couldn't find this in the steel yard, out in the scrap. So I bought this new, but it was also kind of a good thing because this is a factory end. Now, me being just some dude in his garage, this factory end is really good for me to have, because I know that that end is going to be nice and square and true, and I mean at least close to, you know, it's got a nice little bit of a bevel on there and everything, and it's going to work really well as a guide, because this other tube that I have here, this back tube, has been cut on both ends, and being that it's cut on both ends, either end is square, so that kind of screwed me on that. But we're gonna make it work. We'll get her done. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do some cleanup on the pipes. Do a little cleanup with my grinder. Probably just use like a wire wheel. I don't really want to dig into them too much. Even with a flat disc, the flat disc will dig in there. So I'll probably just get a wire wheel on my grinder, do some cleanup so I have a nice clean surface to weld to. I'll put one big gusset down here, and then I might set like a gusset down in here. I know how high my bed rails are, you know, what I can hide, which this will be the side that goes up against the back of the cab, so you won't see these gussets anyway. But I know I'm gonna try to sink something down in here a little bit further, just to kind of, you know, so just to appease myself. You know, I don't really, you know, nobody's gonna notice it. Nobody's gonna look at them that hard, you know, because most people are gonna see these things, you know, dual 6-inch single side stacks, and be like, well, that guy's an idiot. but you know, I think it's cool. I enjoy it. I like it. So that's what we're gonna do now. Let's get her going. That's why I spent forever looking for safety glasses. So, since we're here, we have this opportunity in front of us with this nice screwed up cutoff wheel here. Couple of safety tips. When you go down and you buy a brand new cutoff wheel, okay, I don't care what cutoff wheel you're buying. I don't care if it's a 4.5 inch, a 6 inch, it's for a chop saw. If you're buying an abrasive wheel, check the thing. Okay, make sure there's no indication of cracks or stretch or stress or anything like that, because if there is, when you get this thing out there 13,000 rip'ems, it's gonna explode, and those pieces are gonna land wherever they please, and it might be inside of your stomach, the bad way. So, and when you see that, if this happens to your brand new cutoff wheel, throw it in the trash. Do not use it. So this is gonna be one gusset. This is gonna be the big gusset that I put on the very bottom. Remember, this is the bottom of the stack. This is the bottom where this tube's getting welded. Now, I'm gonna do another one of these up here, but I'm gonna try to set it down inside here a little further, because it's getting up higher, closer to the bed rails. So I'm gonna try to set it down between the tubes a little better. I put this down here like this just because I want more strength, because I know that when these stacks are out here, you know, what did I figure? 26 and 19. I figured 45 inches about was the top of the stack. So, ish, about out here. When the stack is 45 inches tall, if it's just welded to the base plate, it's gonna rattle and it's gonna vibrate and make all sorts of weird noises up there at the top of them. But putting the gussets in there is gonna keep that, hopefully, from happening. And it's not like, I drive a 99 7.3 liter Power Stroke. I'm not gonna hear these things rattling in garbage over that engine most of the time. But if I'm, you know, cruising around and I have the windows down or whatever, then yeah, I'm gonna hear it rattling, and I don't want to listen to that, especially with the droning and crap that this is probably gonna create. Alrighty, we're tacked in. Oh, let's see. That's the noise I'm worried about, but tacked up. We'll do some. This one's not the greatest fit, but we'll do some finish weld. We'll finish it. Finish these in there. Now, I will never, ever, 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 ever in my whole life ever claim that I'm a welder. But in my defense, I can lay down much better welds with something much better than that. Okay, this is just a Lincoln 110 home jobber, you know, for the hobbyists kind of a thing. It's not meant for any kind of anything, really. I mean, they don't want you welding anything hotter or anything thicker than an 1/8 inch material with this. And I'm there. I'm at the limit. This thing, it can't give me any more than it is. I got this thing turned up as hot as it'll go. Right, gussets are in. That one is just a 3-inch wide one. It sits, you know, if you're looking square onto the tube, you can't see it, so that's nice. This one out a little bit further, so it's kind of flush. I just cleaned the, you know, did some wire wheel on these here welds, and I'm sure that somebody's gonna destroy them, which is fine. Like I said, I don't claim to be a welder, nor will I ever claim to be a welder. But, you know, not to toot my own horn, but they're not the worst welds I've ever done. So we're going to, I guess, I really want to hit this thing, but it's hot. I don't want to burn my hand. So I guess now, oh, I got to clean up the ends of the tubes. Then I think it's time to put on the base. Put the base on, get it up in here, get that tacked and fitted, make sure it's gonna look all nice. I think, is that where I'm at? Clean tubes up, gotta clean tubes up. Yeah. Actually, before I tack that on, I should probably put the bolts through the bottom of it and weld those in. Right, so we are at a point now where things are getting serious. Got my bolts welded in. I've got the base plate is just tacked. That's all I've done. Just a couple of tacks. Okie dokie. We've had to make a slight adjustment. Now the plan for the truck has always been, I want a 4-inch, right? I want to do a 4-inch exhaust. Every forum I've read, all the research I've done says a 4-inch straight pipe is the best for the power that the truck's making. So that's what I want to go with. But right now the truck only has 3-inch on it. So instead of trying to do all the reducers and all the garbage and everything to go from the 3-inch that's on the truck to a 4-inch and putting a 4-inch on that, I'm just gonna do a 3-inch for now. And then when I get a 4-inch exhaust, so I don't know when that's gonna be, when I do get all the tubing and everything, I'll pull the stacks back out and we'll just open the hole up to a 4-inch instead of a 3-inch and do everything else. But that's not the only reason. 3-inch obviously is going to be much easier to do because trying to reduce it from a 4-inch on the bottom of the stack to the 3-inch that's in the truck is stupid. I spent all this money on reducers and everything else. But on top of that, all of my local auto parts places around here, and I have a ton. O'Reilly's, Baxter's, Napa, Car Quest, is that what it's called? Anyway, like 3 or 4 different franchises, right? Franchises, whatever you want to call them, companies. Not a single one of them carries a stitch of 4-inch tubing of any kind, any sorts, anywhere. So I don't have a choice. So 3-inch it is for now. We'll do 4-inch when we get our 4-inch turbo back system we'll do 4-inch at that point in time. I don't like doing things that make too much sense around here, okay? We like to just do. Make it up as we go. When we get there, we'll hope that it's right. If it's not, oh well. So the high school that I went to had a class called Redneck Engineering. And that's where you learn stuff, I guess. So what I've done is I got a piece of 1x1 square tubing through there, okay? C-clamps, holding it down, squishing the center of it. You look in there, you can see this centerpiece is now pretty well flush with the tube. There's a little tiny bit of a gap on the inside of this one where I went a little overboard with the grinder, but I think we're gonna be good there. So I'll be able to weld, hopefully get my gun up in here, weld all this through all the way around, and I won't have any leaks right there in the center if all goes well. I'm gonna go in there as far as I can, and even if it looks like it's touching, I may still go inside the square, inside the rectangle tubing here, and weld inside there just for an extra measure to make sure, you know, absolute sure that it's not gonna move. Oh, looky here. Boys, we are on the home stretch here. We are done with the welding. So this hole here, it needs some help still, but bolts are welded in, sides are closed up, tubes are finished welded all the way around. I did, I don't know how much you're gonna be able to see, but I was able to get the inside of those tubes welded up by using this hole and the holes on each side. Honestly, I'm super happy with it. I can't believe that it's turned out as well as it has, to be honest. So really all I got left, I gotta finish this hole up so it's not so jagged and nasty. Oh, I do have to weld some more stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna weld this on here, but I'm gonna cut it so that it sits at an angle like that, so that my bendy hose pipe over there doesn't have to do so much bending to get to this. Since we're on the subject though, this is, what is this? Just a 3-inch inside diameter, which I should check against my bendy tube. This is just a 3-inch inside diameter connector. That's all it is. This is one of those things that people expect you to use the horseshoe clamps for. Well, I'm assuming, at least, you know, because they always send horseshoe clamps with them usually. But this is galvanized, and if you don't know anything about galvanizing, you do not weld or cut galvanized pipe. You can use your grinder, grind the galvanizing off, okay? Trust me, if you weld or cut this crap with that galvanizing on there, because galvanizing is a coating, right? It's like a nickel plating kind of, right? But this stuff, the galvanizing, if you cut it or with fire or weld it, it will set off the thickest, nastiest, gray tan colored smoke you've ever seen. And the fire coming off it will be green, because this stuff is poison. It will absolutely make you feel like complete garbage. So if you have a piece of galvanized, grind that coating off before you cut it with fire or weld, because you will feel gross. And if you're watching this video and it just so happens that you did that and you breathe that smoke and your stomach is killing you and you can't hardly move, go drink a big glass of milk and it will help. Okay? Pro tip.